Hello everyone, Suzanne here. Thanks for joining me for another Monday Makes video. Today I'll be using the Made with Love stamp set to make the card. And I'm going to be using the Cherry on Top Designer Series paper. I'm just showing you that I have a lot of little scraps left over, so I'm going to try to use this up. And this is the card I came up with using that particular purpose. So these wooden embellishments are new. It says celebrate, congrats, and thanks, and they are called Expressions Natural Elements, and you'll find them on page 160 of the catalog. So I'm using an inch strip of the Designer Series paper, and I have cut down a card base by 1 inch, which is going to be the front. And so it's basically 7.5 by 5.5, if that makes sense. And I just adhering that little strip of paper so that you can see it. And this is how I do a lot of cards if I'm trying to use up paper. Remember at Christmas time I had one like this in particular as well. Just because I run out, I have so much paper and I try to use it up. For a paper hoarder, that's pretty good. So I'm using the thick Whisper white cardstock, and you can see how thick it is by, it keeps on popping up. So the Celebrate wooden embellishment here, I am just placing in place, and I'm using those 3 little stars, and I'm going to sort of create a little bit of a confetti around the Celebrate wording. So I'm just placing here and there. I kind of wanted to, I didn't want to interfere with the Celebrate greeting, but I just wanted to add to it. And I also found that open star as well in the set. And I'm again in odd numbers, so a cluster of 5, a cluster of 3. And I can never decide, and I even edited this. Okay, so I'm using a couple drops of Tombow glue, and when you're doing, when you're adhering this to some cardstock, you may want to use Tombow instead of mini glue dots or any other kind of adhesive. The Tombow seems to work really nicely. And also, if you ever have problems with it not coming out like I do, I have found a solution. I just leave it in a shooter glass. And I have had a couple of those around. So don't ask me where I got them. So I'm just applying the wooden embellishment. I really like these. They're cool. And by using that Tombow glue, it gives me a little bit of wiggle room so I can adhere it in the right place. All right, so moving on. This is a Wink of Stella glitter pen brush. It has a brush tip to it, and Stampin' Up does not sell it, but they took away my smooch spritz, so this is an alternative. And I'm giving you a close-up here, so I know it's not the best focusing, but you can see that glimmer, and there's this liquid inside that it's not water, I don't think, but if this pen ever does run out of the liquid, you just fill it up with water again, and you've got another, like a paintbrush with a little bit of glitter. So dual use. I really like the shimmer on it. So now I'm taking the crushed curry ink marker, the same ink that I stamped with, and I am dotting 3 little dots and then tiny little dots afterwards. And I find this to be the best way to create random confetti. I thought this card just needed a little bit more. So I'm doing 3 big dots, and then I'm filling in the gaps with the little dots, if that makes sense. So you can create your own embellishments just by using your markers. You don't need anything fancy. Use what you got. And I did, you'll see a picture at the end of the video of how I fancied the card up, and I tried to step it up a little notch, but I think I like this one better. Anyway, that's the card for today. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye.